What's up, you guys? Sharnus Prime here doing another movie review on Pacific Rim. Like anybody cares, because the movie came out weeks ago, and I'm super late doing this video review on Pacific Rim, which I actually love this movie, man. I really liked it a lot. Like, seriously, gotta say, favorite movie of the summer. Yeah, I said it. It beat Man of Steel, man. It beat the fucking Wolverine, man. I love this movie. Dude, giant robots. You're talking about, look, Sharnus Prime here, okay? Sharnus Prime here. I love the giant robots, alright? I love giant robots. What do you want me to do, man? Just love the movie. I thought it kicked ass. Very cool, straightforward movie. Gets right to the point. I will discuss spoilers. It's been weeks since the movie came out anyway, so spoiler alert. I will just talk about the movie as if you'd seen it, okay? Now, my brother, he's just 2 years younger than me. I mean, we grew up in the 80s and 90s, man. We love this stuff. We were just eating it up. So, I mean, so much to the point where we kind of had like a little bit too much fun just talking about it when we got home. Yeah, it's a little embarrassing. But anyway, the movie, it was incredible. I want to talk about my 5 favorite things about the movie and my 5 least favorite things about the movie, which is actually hard for me to come up with because I really love the movie. I just saw it for the second time last night with the lovely Charlita One and our friend Rodine, and we saw it in IMAX 3D, which was sick. The first time I saw it in 2D, but the second time seeing it in 3D IMAX was dope, man. I love the movie. I'm so glad I saw it a second time to see it in the big, because I'm definitely getting it on Blu-ray. Definitely gonna be watching it multiple times. But having the experience of seeing it on the huge ass screen in the 3D was sick as hell. Now the 3D itself, it wasn't so prominent, to be honest with you, but it just worked really well seeing it in the IMAX because it was so big. So, I don't know, it added like some dimension to it, but not too much. There wasn't major parts where I was like, whoa, this 3D is blowing my mind, like nothing like that. So, you know, for people that are like, oh yeah, I still need to catch up on that movie, should I see it in 3D or not? I wouldn't say you're missing out on a whole lot if you don't see it in 3D. So just have to point that out there. But seeing the movie a second time, I mean, you know, okay, first off, the first time I saw the movie, about 3/4 of the way of the movie, I had already told myself, well, oh my god, I can't wait to see this movie again. And then the second time watching the movie, it's like, it was just as, like, I was just so thrilled throughout the whole thing, like I'd never seen it. You know what I mean? I just really liked it that much, man. Giant robots punching the shit out of giant lizard things, man. Incredible. So, the 5 things I hated about the movie, which there's actually nothing I hated about the movie, but I'm trying to dig here, right? Number 5, and this was actually brought up to me by the lovely Charlita One. I think she brought this up where was it, Rodine? I can't remember. But, you know the whole fight scene where it's like a little bit towards the end of the movie when Gypsy Danger is in Raleigh and Mako are fighting the one that sprouts the wings, which was so cool. I love that it just sprouted wings out of nowhere, and then it sends them out into space, and then it's like while they're like, you know, almost breaching, you know, the stratosphere or whatever, they're like, oh yeah, we have a sword, yeah, and they whip out the sword and then they cut it in half and then they fall to the earth. You know, yeah, she was saying that, you know, they should have, like, remembered that they had a sword earlier, right? Like, you know, why have to wait till they're so high up in the air and then cut the kaiju in half, you know? So, I give it that. That was kind of a bad call. But at the same time, it's kind of cool to see, you know, they're getting their asses pummeled, you know what I mean? The kaiju had lifted them up and started smashing them into buildings and stuff like that, so they may have been just a little disoriented and just didn't, you know, kind of forgot for a second that, you know, I don't know. I've never been to war or anything like that, so I don't know. See, it didn't really bother me that much because it was just cool to see the kaiju flying, holding Gypsy Danger in the air and stuff. I thought that was really tight. My number 4 complaint is it would have been cool to see a little bit more of. Now I believe I can't remember the name of the black dude, but the black dude that played Hemdall, right? I can't remember the character's name. I'm just gonna call him the General for right now, okay? The General, it would have been cool to see him fighting a little bit more. I think he was driving the Coyote Tango, right? I think that's what it was. I think that's what his mech was, Coyote Tangle. It would have been cool to see him fight a little bit more, but at the same time, it's like we got so much fighting in the movie that not really a complaint. And then, so the rest of these aren't real complaints, by the way. My number 3 complaint of the movie is it would have been cool to see Cherno Alpha, the Russian one. Oh, that was cool. How do you... I love the characters of the mechs. I love how there's kind of like this world cohesiveness, like how each like country has their own mech that kind of represents that country. I think that's just so cool. And then it would have been cool to see him do a little bit more, but it wasn't too bad, you know what I mean? It really wasn't bad. But Crimson Typhoon, that's the one I really wanted to see kick more ass, though. Crimson Typhoon, my number 2 complaint is Crimson Typhoon. Because it was cool that he had the triplets. You could barely see the triplet in the back. Seeing the movie the second time, that's when I could see the triplet, in the back. Kind of, so it's like you have 2 over here, and then you have 1 all the way back here in the middle. But yeah, he kind of got his ass kicked like really fast. I kind of wish that mech had fought a little bit longer. Yeah, I mean, he busted out the blades, he did the twist thing with his waist, but aside from that, he got slaughtered pretty fast. And then the number 1 thing that, now, this was actually what really took me out of the movie was Sappy Mako. The girl, the character, cool. She could kick ass. But I felt like they just overdid it a little bit on the... Like, it was just a little bit... Like, she was just too sappy sometimes. They didn't have to play that up so much. If she was just a little less sappy, then it wouldn't have been so bad. And basically, there's times where, like Charlita Warren and I are just, like, laughing at the movie because of her being so sappy. I'm like, I want to drive the robot, you know what I mean? And then sometimes I couldn't understand what the hell she's saying, I'm like, what? When she's speaking, I'm like, huh? Like, I just don't understand what she's talking about sometimes. So that was bothersome, but really not a big deal. I loved the movie. 5 out of 5 for sure. Now, 5 favorite things. Okay, so my least favorite of the 5, right? Number 5. But I love all these things about the movie is the timeline and the look of the movie. I really, really like how they kick it off and they start with present day, and then they just jump years ahead, and they don't leave you stranded or really curious like to what happens in between. Like, you really get a sense of like what went down like the past what was it, like 10 or 20 years or something like that, where this whole thing's really going down. Very, very cool. I really, really like the look of it too. Like, there's some age to it. It's in the future, but it's not so distant. Like, they still have microwaves when they're on the construction site for the wall and everything. I just love that look of the future. It's not too distant future, but it's still very futuristic. I thought that was really, really dope. The pacing of the movie, I like the pacing. I think the movie goes by very, very smoothly. I love how they just introduce you right on. Like they hit you, boom, you get Giant Monster tearing up the Golden Gate Bridge. I'm just south of San Francisco, so it's just badass seeing San Francisco get torn up, man. I love my city over there, so that was just great. Starting off with that, you see the destruction. They kick you off with robots, beating the shit out of these damn monsters and everything. It was great. They just get into it right away. Love it. And you get into the characters too. Raleigh's character, you see how the character starts pretty quick. You see him get broken down. The characters, okay, number 3, the characters. I like all the characters. Even Mako, even though I complain about her, I still like that she's like a very strong woman, and she overcomes her whole thing of, kind of with her traumatic event when she was a little girl. And by the way, the little girl that played Little Mako, great actress, right? Right? I mean, give it a hand to the little girl that, I thought she was a great little actress. I thought she did a great job. But even Mako, I really like her character. I thought she was badass overall. And the general guy, I thought he was hella sick. The asshole Australian guy, I think Herc's son, both of those Australian guys, I like the conflict over there. All the characters, I loved all the characters. Even the dude, the engineer guy, was like, oh yeah, just got laid. Yeah, that guy, yeah, that dude is really cool. All of them, I really like the characters. I even like the dog, man. Love the human characters. Love the human fighting too. That was very, very cool. The stick fights, that was dope. So not just, it wasn't just like, robot. You know what I mean? I really like all the characters. So now number 2 and 1. Okay, obviously number 2, I love the kaiju. The kaiju were sick. I love the variation of the kaiju. It was very much like old school, like anime. It kind of reminded me of that very much. I love how they have like the bioluminescent, mouths, and they change it up. They have like the what is it, the sonic disruptor thing, or the EPM. Oh, I forgot what it is. But you know what I'm saying, where they take out all the lights and everything. And they have the acid, and you got ones with wings. You got the knife head. You got the leather head. Oh, speaking of the characters, Sean Long and Gay Comic Geek were great. The scientists, they were fantastic. Sean Long and Gay Comic Geek did a really good job playing those characters in the movie, by the way. They look just like them. I thought it was hilarious, especially the British one that looks like Gay Comic Geek. I thought that was hilarious. But anyway, and then Ron Perlman, of course, super badass. Ron Perlman, B movie hamming it up. I just thought it was great. So anyway, the kaiju, badass. And my number 1 favorite thing were the goddamn robots. They were so sick. I just thought it was so sick. Now at first I always thought it was kind of weird that, why couldn't it just be one person manning it? It could be old school, but the way they explain it and the way that they do it, the whole thing with the drift, I like that. It adds depth to the movie. It added a whole element that I really, really like. So at first I was kind of like, oh, why does it have to be 2? Why can't it just be 1? But the fact that it is 2, I like that more. I love how they're unique. I love how Gypsy Danger's older. He's the only one that's nuclear and stuff. No, it should have made sense that, I guess the Russian one, the Cherno Alpha, he should have been nuclear too, right? Because that was like the oldest one out of all the mechs, which looked really, really cool. I love the designs of these things. They all look so badass. I guess maybe one minor complaint is that I felt like Striker Eureka and Gypsy Danger kind of looked too similar, but I thought they were very different robots. Striker's like the fast one and everything. And I just thought of a minor complaint of mine is like, when they're doing the mech walk thing, like I can't really imagine them moving really fast in those machines. We never really see them actually full on run, but we see the mechs full on running. You know what I mean? That's one part. But at the same time, when they're full on running, you don't want to see the people inside there. You want to see the action of the robot kicking ass and everything. So yeah. So I guess I could have thrown that into my one little gripes area, but just the robots kicking ass. I love that they have their weapons. I love the, like how Stryker has the missiles coming out of his chest. I love the unibeam coming out of Gypsy Danger's chest. I'm kind of like at a loss for words. I just love seeing the robots, and they're so gigantic. Everything about it, I really love this movie a lot, you guys. It really hit a geek spot that has been around for as long as I can remember, okay? Like, the first thing I ever remember, Turbo Teen was the very first thing I remember actually going like, whoa, that is awesome. And then right after that was Transformers. So, yeah, taking back a long time. I relate to this with the Transformers and stuff. Giant robots kicking ass. Very, very sick. I hope you guys liked my video, and I hope I didn't ramble on too much, and yeah, this video was super late. Alright, hope you guys have a good day. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you later. Peace.